part of this relationship, guys, hear me loud and clear, it is being authentic. It's not trying to be an influencer, be anybody else that you see on freaking IG. It is showing up as yourself.
All right. Hi, Nina. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you haven't already heard Nina and I's, is that proper grammar? Mine and Nina. You know what? I don't know. If you haven't already listened to what we said first, it was real, real good. And I would love for you to go back and listen or read or watch the YouTube, all of the things. But today, Nina is with us, and we are going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is consumer behavior.
And it has shifted.
Let's talk about it.
It has shifted, my friend. I think clients are craving different. They're craving deeper, I think. They want more, and they want more value. We're going to get into all of it, but that's kind of where we're at. Yeah.
I love the topic of consumer behavior in general because our personal behavior shifts on a day-to-day.
Well, here's the thing. We are consumers.
Yes!
We're all consumers. We may not be consuming hair because we do it and we can get it for free, but we are consuming other beauty services. And so it is, I often say, think like a client, think like a consumer, because that will give you a lot of perception and perspective, I guess, on where things sit. And I cannot stress the relationship side of this business now more than ever. I'm a relationship girly. I think that's really, honestly, one of the main reasons why my clients stayed with me for so long, because listen, I was not the best hairstylist, and that is facts.
Same.
The relationship is built on trust and transparency. And when we're talking about loyalty and keeping clients longer, right? It is all built on trust. How you communicate with them, how you're honest with them. Look, hey, you know what? I don't feel really good about doing this blonding service on you today, and here's why. The integrity of your hair is so important to me, XYZ, right? Here's what I suggest we do first, right? That's building trust. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna take their money and I'm gonna just do what I can because it's a service. People feel that they will spend money when they trust you, when they trust your pricing, when they trust your communication, when they trust your messaging and how you are sharing yourself and your brand to them. And that creates more of a higher retention. And I think that, people talk so often, you got to get new clients, you got to get new clients. Yeah, you got to get new clients. But guess what? Your business is not growing if you don't keep those clients. And the way that you're keeping them is by being honest, being transparent, not just about pricing, but just their hair, about their services, and that's where loyalty stems from.
I love that you're saying this because I think sometimes when we hear they want to trust you and they want to get to know you and they want to build a relationship, the boundary buzzword of it all, people start to go I don't know, does that mean in order to have a sustainable business, I just have to be super vulnerable all of the time and sharing all of my nonsense and things like that? What would you say to that? Because you just kind of said a key point, you're it's about the hair. What would you say to someone who says wait, if it's about me in a relationship, that feels really vulnerable?
Well, yeah, there's different types of relationships. There's the one that you have with yourself, the one that you have with your business, and the one that you have with your clients.
Oh, I love that.
When I say building that relationship, it's just building trust. It's just leading with honesty and integrity. It's always putting the client's needs in a way of their hair needs first. And sometimes that means having hard conversations I can't do that on you today.
Yeah.
And part of this relationship, guys, hear me loud and clear, it is being authentic. It's not trying to be an influencer, be anybody else that you see on freaking IG. It is showing up as yourself. And I'm not even going to say show up as the best version of yourself. Just show up as you. Because that is what people want. That's where relationships start, right? How can we have really great relationships when we're being fake and phony? Those fizzle and they don't last at all.
It's so true.
But when you show up and you share, your authentic self, it doesn't mean that you're going to tell them everything that's going on in your
Yeah.
marriage and your home life, but there is a sense of your own magic and your authenticity in there. That's loyalty. That builds retention, hands down.
I love that so much. And I think each of us dance a fine line between like how much of your personal story that means. We want to meet clients where they're at, but we also are living and breathing humans in our world as well.
It is about sharing what you feel you can. I think we all have to create our own boundaries and what vulnerability looks like. At the end of the day, we're freaking human. And we're the pressure of showing up at 100% is just not attainable. You're going to have bad days. You're going to be off someday. This is just how it is, And it doesn't mean that you have to share your whole life story with them on why you're off. But it's like, hey, you know what? I'm going through some things. I appreciate you. And you know what? I'm really looking forward to doing your hair. So let's do it today, And then that gets you out of the mindset. And then it's a distraction for you and you enjoy it and it's great. And, it kind of breaks the ice a little bit.
It becomes cathartic, totally. I just love like, okay, consumer behavior, we need to be transparent and honest and build this like authenticity with them. And then the idea that authenticity can also be authentic to you, right?
Yeah.
Like your version of Nina's authenticity between her clients and mine might be different. And that is part of where the magic happens. In your service-based thing. That is part of your potential value add that you were referring to earlier. It becomes this unique proprietary thing to you.
It just comes down to being yourself, being the best that you can be that day for that time, personalizing their experience. Like they're looking for more personalization. It's not this like boom, boom, in, out type thing. They want recommendations. They want clear consultations, even longer consultations. They want the service to be tailored to them, right? They want to feel like they're VIP all the time. And that does start with relationships. Yes, are people being a little bit sensitive about pricing and where they're spending their money? Yes, absolutely. But I want people to understand that when people leave your business, like typically pricing isn't the main reason. The main reason comes down to communication. And I'd say one of the main reasons comes down to communication. There are breakdowns when it comes to being transparent about pricing or costs or, price increases or all of that stuff being backed by data. And I think when we focus on more of the results and we talk in results instead of technical terms, that is a clear communication for them. Now they understand what they're getting and what they're paying for. When prices change, if we hold things to our chest and we don't say something, that may not be what they're looking for. And I'm not saying that everybody has to do a rollout and price increase and give a 3-week notice and all that. Sometimes that doesn't align with your brand and your business. But it's the communication breakdown where people are like, do I still see the value and should I still be loyal? Because I feel like the communication is lacking. The relationship is lacking. There isn't as much transparency as there used to be. I feel like things are not being as open as they used to be. And I think that's where, it all boils down to that communication and that relationship across the board. I mean, I can literally go through like, this is what consumers are craving, but that's the foundation of it. And however much you want to share is totally up to you. Those are your own boundaries. But we've got to start to become real. And in order for us to be real, in order for us to be real with people, we have to be real with ourselves.
So true.
That's how it works.
You could dissect everything you're saying about the communication and transparency, but a lot of times, as I'm sure you experience on a regular basis, these breakdowns where we start to struggle as business owners and service providers usually always go back to communication. We're frustrated because we're getting texts in the middle of the night. Well, do we have a clearly laid out and communicated way that somebody can book with you, rebook with you, or cancel with you? Have we laid that out in a very easy way that someone can't? To your point, someone kind of getting sticker shock. If they're getting sticker shock at the very end, that's not a client not valuing your worth. We missed the mark somewhere at the beginning.
Yep.
Right? So a lot of times, and that's where I think the power lies, is when we start reverse engineer these so-called like problems that we might have, your consumer behavior patterns that you're pointing out right here are the answers.
Yeah.
We just have to set ourselves up for the success on the like forefront of it.
Yeah, I agree.
We have learned so many things here. I feel like we could talk for hours.
I know.
Nina?
I could talk with you for days.
I love it. We'll have to do it again. Everyone, I hope that I actually love this because, again, as in the first episode, Nina, you are spilling so much truth, but it's something that someone can go into work and do tomorrow. Like, these are very real. It's not like, we all got to spin on our heads 3 times and then, like it's real and applicable. And these are things that if you're wondering why your business isn't what you want it to be, and these are things that you can apply when you get off your lunch break. Yeah, you can make that shift in 5 minutes right away. Just do it. And I appreciate you so much for sharing this information with us, Nina, and for coming and chatting with me. It is always such a pleasure.
Thank you so much, my friend. I love our chats.
Thank you.